that the final messenger comes with a method and a statement that clarifies once and for all the testimony of the fundamental that there is only one God. And because he is the final messenger, the testimony must change and say who the final messenger is, so that all of mankind never forgets the story. And so now we have La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Unlike any other commandment or fundamental of any prophet prior to this, all of their communities knew to follow the prophet who just received the word of the light. And as we say, anybody who calls themselves Muslim, a follower of the light, refers to any of the prophet in our story, and all those we didn't mention, and there are many, and the scholars know them, and we can tell you there are thousands. We refer to all of them by saying, peace and blessings of the Lord Most High be upon all of them, including Jesus, son of Mary, who is a son of Adam, breathed the life of the Lord as a miracle, but is not God, and that God is always only one, and that the dark side has always been there to tempt and corrupt people into the darkness of misdirection of the truth of the light. The truth of the light is one. One, one, one. There's only one God. So now we get to this point where we're talking about Eastern mysticism. And we said, in this tale, if I'm telling it to you, it must explain all the strange tales of the East and all the knowledge of the West. It can't just be something that addresses one or two things. And as a caveat, I must say again, of course, I am not telling you all of the knowledge. Already you know, as I know, that this story has already gotten long and we are not done yet. But there is so much more to listen to that it is worth carrying on. The jinns are made of smokeless fire. Of this, many nations in the past have had interaction, and of the alien races, and we will continue to call them alien races, they are from another dimension, one that we cannot visibly see, unless they make themselves apparent. They are able to move rapidly in and out of water. They are able to do many things. Now, if you didn't understand the importance of able to move in and out of water rapidly, go back and listen to the story of Solomon, because the indicator was there. Now, we continue to synonymously use Eastern and Western terms. In the East, we refer to them as jinn, or creatures of smokeless fire, unseen from the unseen world. The tales from the dark side, a parallel dimension, the twilight zone. All these references have been there. And of the jinn there are many kind, and of them references have been there all across humanity too. And so let's quickly talk about some of them. We've said that jinn are of different types: grays, greens, usually referred to as small-looking demons, some reptilian. They have the ability to morph, some into animals, usually dogs or dark wolves, common amongst many tales. Muslims have known of this fact of the other alien races, or jinns, for 1500 years. Now, many people in the occult sciences have tried to learn things or become mediums. Now, we have to understand that since we're talking about the truth of the light, we're saying in our story, we must remain focused on the fundamental, that we're trying to seek the truth of the light. And the light is that of the one true God, and the God that we're telling you of in this story has consistently remained upon these basic fundamentals. And so all the chains of prophets have come with the simple same rules, and the final prophet Muhammad came with the exact same rules we maintained from the beginning of the story. But the Prophet Muhammad came with something else that we said that was different from all the other prophets. Not only was he the messenger to all of mankind, showing a sign of the splitting of the moon for all of the earth, but that also that the splitting of the moon was a sign to the jinns, or the aliens. Now, as I said, that every part of my story must remain true and verifiable, yet get always so much more strange. Now, we said in the past, many of the ancient societies have learned to use powers of the jinns or the alien races. They've called it magic, they've called it occult practices, and they've done heathen and pagan rituals to use their power. Now, we know that there have been cases where benevolent, believing other races have come to the earth. And if you want to hear an example, go back and listen to the story of Moses. And we know from modern day scholars of UFOs and interactions with both the jinn and what they call in the West UFOs, unidentified flying things of light or weirdness or creatures that have the ability to come in and out and have powers of strangeness. We call them unidentified. Well, in Arabic, we know what these are, and we've been trying to communicate this, but never has the knowledge of the East come clearly to the West until today that you are hearing this story. And so if you begin to understand that, then you can start to decipher some of the misunderstandings in all of the whistleblowers and all of the... there are many spin doctors out there who have great theories about all the different things and how the different societies were able to conduct things, such as the pyramids and other places where we find the Mayans and different things where they had knowledge of the stars and time that they had learned from some of the other races. And even today, our modern scientists can't figure out how pyramids and some of their ancient societies were able to have this great technology, but the Muslims have been trying to explain this to you. But as we are told, if the truth of the story of the light is ever told, then everyone must be in the biggest deception and misguidance against them. And that's how come you're told that Islam is the enemy of the world. And I said, since we're not talking about politics or any of the issues that are going on today on the planet, that I'm not condoning anything that's going on politically in the world, and I have no doubt made the caveat that Muslims have done a terrible job representing the light. But we have to continue to maintain the story. And so, because... just quickly, I don't want to spend the whole time period talking about the jinns, because if we do, then we perhaps fall into the trap that people have fell into for generations and thinking that they have powers or technology that is great. Now, here is a warning to the layman who tries to go to a medium or a fortune teller or use some methodology to communicate with the other side, or the greatest of superpowers in the world who try to use alien technology because they think it will be of their benefit, that the Lord Most High has told us that what? Remember the beginning of the story. The Lord Most High told us that we were already the superior race without any benefit from them. If we followed what the Lord Most High had told us, which was the Word, and so each prophet of the Lord came with the Word, and we said the final prophet must come with a specific word, and that is the Quran. Now, if you talk to scholars of the Arabic language and they say the Quran, the book, they will tell you, no, the Quran is not a book. The Quran is the Word. And why is it the Word? It's because it's the Word of God. And once you understand the power of that, then you understand that that Word is more powerful than any alien technology. So as people sometimes get deceived into using occult practices thinking that that is alien technology that is great, then they do get deceived. But because we want to give you quick information to prove that the story is true so that you can verify from your own modern day sources and then also the ancients, that we'll give you some basic facts. The moon, for example. We said that the sign of the prophet was that he parted the moon in half. Right? And that was a sign for all of the earth. But we said as a strange fundamental that that was a sign also for the aliens or the jinns. Well, it might sound strange when we hear it, but I told you every meaning in the story has always a more great meaning. Because if you've understood the fundamentals, if it is Allah who sends each prophet, and it is the Lord Most High who gives the word, and we already know in this, the final fundamental that the Lord told us, I'm the one who plans everything. Don't forget, I'm the Lord. I created all of the universe. Then the Lord Most High must also make the sign of the moon splitting for the aliens be even more important. Well, I say aliens or jinns. Well, we say the jinns, especially the evil of them, are using the power of what? Well, we said this war is always about light versus darkness, and that we are telling you the story of the truth, and it is about the light, and that each prophet was bringing the story of the light, and the light is the light of the Lord Most High. And so if Satan, who fell from the light and became the most dark that we know, is the power of darkness, then we know that there is something related to darkness and the control of evil. And so from the knowledge that Muslims have had is that darkness also relates to gravity and gravitation. And so during the full moon nights, what is it that Muslims do? Now we know, if you've been listening to the story, that the true believers in the light do something to protect themselves, and that is called fasting.